Hi, it's Gab, and I'm reviewing Boyhood, which is a new film by Richard Linklater, who is best known for the Before Sunrise, Sunset, Midnight trilogy. This film has had a lot of advance talk about it. It's finally been released because even though it's a new film, it's not recently filmed. It was filmed over the span of 12 years. Linklater shot a bit each year for 12 years, and the reason for this is that Boyhood covers about a 12-year span of a boy's life, a boy named Mason, played by a boy actor who grows into a grown actor called Eller Coltrane. And so we first see him when he's about 6, and we just go right into what his life is like, almost a sort of fly on the wall perspective of this 6-year-old boy's life with a single mom and an older sister, and just doing what boys do, and having some fun, trying to sort of understand what his mother's going through, because of course our parents' lives affect us very greatly when we're young. So we see her struggles. We learn how the father's not really in the picture, but then he reappears, and also see the father sort of struggle too in his way to connect with his children and be a meaningful presence in their lives. And the film jumps, you don't know exactly, there's no sort of indication on the screen what year, what age you're jumping to, and you don't know when to anticipate the next one. And it doesn't feel like a jump, it feels quite seamless, but from one scene to the next, Mason might be, everyone is a year or two older, and the storyline and watching Mason progress continues. Now, when I say storyline, there's no plot per se. I mean, this really is just about that chain of moments, some more significant than others, but nothing earth-shattering, cinematically speaking, in each scene, each scenario that we see Mason and his family go through as he ages. So they move several times because of their mother and some of her romantic, her relationships that she gets into. They continue to connect semi-regularly with their father and make different relationships of their own, friendships and romantic or whatever, as they age. So it really is an organic look at just progressing through 12 years of your life, from young boyhood to going off to college. Now, when I say there's no big cinematic moments, there really isn't. I mean, those of us who are used to more mainstream fare, I certainly felt like I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like I kept waiting for there to be something traumatic or something, really sort of some huge character moment or plot moment. And there really are none of those. I hope that's not a spoiler, because if you don't like the sound of that, then you're not going to like this film. But that's what's very refreshing about it in its naturality of just seeing what it's like for this boy. And he's not a spectacularly entrancing character. He's pretty average. I mean, he's artistic, and he's quite philosophical as he ages. He's a thoughtful, sensitive kid, but still kind of an average kid. And so I have a son, as many of you know, Max, and he's now 12. So I definitely related to watching this boy maturing and growing into a man, and as a mother thinking about my son. It also made me reflect a bit on my childhood and my teen years, but I probably related to it more actually as a mother, and I also related to the mother character quite a bit. The performances are excellent. The mother is Patricia Arquette, and the father, of course, is Ethan Hawke, and they were great. Some of the side characters, such as the other relationships the father and mother get into, I found those characters a bit sort of almost caricatures, a bit cliched, and I thought that they didn't necessarily do service to the storyline, although they did serve to demonstrate these different sort of family scenarios that Mason moved throughout, other than just his mother and his father. I'm also from a family of divorce, so I related to that element of it as well, how it's not your traditional nuclear family, and how that sort of diaspora can affect positively and negatively maturation through childhood. So some of those moments I felt genuine, some I felt forced. I felt some of the central boy and his sister, the sister is played by Linklater's daughter, and Eller Coltrane were excellent, very believable, and interesting and sympathetic characters. Some of the other younger actors and scenes, I felt the scripting and the acting felt stiff and a bit forced, and again a bit cliched to me. Some of those scenarios and the way they were played, which you often find with young actors, and I did find that, and that took away from some of the naturalness for me. But all that being said, it was very enjoyable. It's long, about 2 hours 45 minutes. Immersion in this boy's life, a boy's life, and believing and caring, remembering, relating, all of those everyday human familial emotions, reflecting on yourself, and if you're a parent. I definitely recommend it if you're a parent, and maybe if you're a young man. If you don't fall into those demographics, it may not captivate you quite as much. And speaking of captivation, I'm not sure I will watch this film again, not for a long time. It did what it needed to do for me in this one viewing, and it's not something I feel I have to revisit, at least for quite a while. So not as in love with Boyhood as many of the critics you're hearing probably are, but I do highly recommend it, if nothing but for this experiment of the 12-year filming, although I don't like to call it an experiment because it doesn't come across as gimmicky. The filmmaker did what needed to be done to genuinely tell this story, keeping the same actor throughout, which I greatly appreciate that attempt, and it definitely pays off way more than if he had cast different actors. I think it would have just fallen completely flat if that had been the case, because you just wouldn't have sustained your believability and your connection to this character and his family and the story. So I really appreciate that. For that alone, it's worth seeing, and you'll probably get more out of it because there are many layers there to this nice, real, simple story. Boyhood, I give 3 3/4 gabs. Thanks for watching.